So the first thing we're going to do is we've got this bed cover, and we're going to get that installed. It's made by Tiger, a company called Tiger, and this is just a roll-up cover. I thought about getting a hard cover, but on my Ram it just took up a lot of space to fold over cover. That last foot or two of hard cover just took up too much room, and then taking it off so I'd have the full use of the bed just got to be a pain. The Tiger one rolls up tight and I get full use of the bed and I still get protection. That's one of our little projects today, and I was glad to see that on the bed rails they have these covers. A lot of them are open, and I wanted to make sure that the reason I chose the Tiger is that it actually comes out and covers this area, so it gives a nice seal all the way around, and I can still use my little tailgate pockets there. They're for clamps and things when I'm kind of strapping things down. That's a pretty cool little thing about this truck that the Ram doesn't have. And the other little project we're going to do is we're going to take these regular blanks out, and we're going to install some factory Ford fog lamps. These actually were ones that I bought from a company called Depot, not Pedo, Depot. I was thinking Pedo, I'm terrible. So these are coming out, and these lamps are going to get installed. I went ahead and bought the factory harnesses for it, and these actually came from a company called EA1. They're an automotive pigtail company. They make factory pigtails for aftermarket use. And I went with the halogen factories. I was going to go with LED, and then I was going to get the ones that have all the fancy lighting around the edge and all that jazz. And I decided it probably just didn't need it. I just wanted some nice fog lights to kind of brighten that up a little bit in the front. So we're going to get that going, and we'll show you how to do the wiring. I'll do a little quick schematic, and as soon as the switch arrives, I'll show you some options that we have for turning things on and off, how to properly wire these through a relay, a proper relay, what amperage you need and whatnot. But for now, let's just get started and putting some stuff together and taking some stuff apart. All right, so we got our bed liner laid out, our bed cover. You can see a nicely sprayed bed liner in here. I haven't figured out what these are for yet. I think they're for maybe mounting a toolbox, one of those over-the-hump toolboxes, maybe some brackets, who knows. But we have our rails laid out, and these are directional. This is your clip at the back for where your tonneau cover slips in. And then at the front, you have the receiver. You can see that. And you see it's kind of a funny shape, and that's for a reason. It has to fit that tab right there. And if you have any seals, any seal problem, any gaps up in here, you want to make sure that you put some of this foam down and seal it up. So there are a couple screws that come out of here, and they have a captive nut at the back. I don't know if you can see that too well. Try to get that again. But that little nut is not really in there. It's just kind of floating, so when you take the screw out, that nut likely wants to come out and run away. So just pay attention you don't drop it in the dirt and lose it. And then we got our clamps laid out, and these are really nicely machined, nicely done clamps, as you can see. And there's a channel, you got to get it. This is for the F150, so it fits this channel here. And you want to make sure that this goes in the proper channel up here. It actually has to fit up inside there. So once you get everything kind of lined up, it should go something like that. So it'll be right down inside there, and you want to be careful not to over tighten it. First thing we got to do though is these rails have to slip onto here, get screwed on, get everything square, and then start clamping it down and unroll our tonneau cover. So let's get started. Okay, so what we ran into was there was a little bit of a gap. We have the bed liner piece right there, the top piece of the bed, and this is down a little low. So I used the weather strip provided in the kit and just kind of stuck it down along there, cut it off with an X-Acto. You could use scissors, knife. You could gnaw it off like a beaver if you want to. And then what we'll do is slide this back into position, and we'll get that lined up and squared up. You're going to have to unroll that a little bit and expose the edge, and then you're going to want to just line it up, get it even with the bed on both sides, being careful not to knock your rails off, because you can see they flex, they'll move as you do this. And want to just get it lined up. Very easy to do. Make sure the edges are where you want them. You want to leave a little overlap so the water runs off and down and not onto the bed and into the seal. I'm not going to measure this, I'm just going to go by eye. Looks pretty good. Okay. So there's that part. Now we just got to get the rails locked down on each side, and I may measure those up to the back just to make sure, because this has to be real square, or the latches, they actually come back here and they fold, and you pull it and it slides in to a little receiver. This is an adjuster. You can see the marks, so you can have it tighter or looser, and wherever you set this is where that tonneau is going to be tight or not. So that's something we got to work on yet. You want to leave the clamps a little loose until you get everything kind of situated, and then we'll be in good shape. So let's clamp it down. Okay, so I just loosely put the clamps in. You want to make sure you leave a little adjustment, and there's a reason for that. You want to get them kind of snug. I also wanted to give you a better idea how that works. It just is a pull-up clamp, and comes up from underneath there. And you want to be careful when you put these in, because there are things that stick down from underneath, and that'll hamper your clamp from going on properly. And you can also see a little bit better how that clamp works in the channel. Remember earlier I was saying you had to get that into the channel, and that's why there's a really nice ridge right there. And if you do it right, it's nice and snug and it all goes down. I'll snug these up, but you want to roll out your tonneau cover first and check your sides, because these bars, they have to drop into that inner channel. And they want to drop in there not snug, but they don't want to be loose either. So there's an 1/8 of an inch play on either side. You know you kind of got it right. And then we can roll the cover back, making sure that we get the Velcro attached tight, which I'm not doing, because I want to show you this. This is the end with the seal, and this is the string that you use to unlatch it. And you can see how this fits into there, like that. And if you roll it up tight, your Velcro up tight, and your bars are sitting right, that should just basically snap down in place, just like that. And there's your cover, nice and tight, nice and right. And if you have to adjust it, that's what these are for, a couple little screws. And I am now going to go through, put this on right, and tighten everything down, get this rolled out properly. It's always a little stretchy when you first put them on. You need to leave a little stretch. There are some nice little fabric hookies here, and you can just grab your fabric, take it, hook it, and make it tight, and you're good to go. Okay, that's that. We'll come back with another project in a little bit.